I just killed myself.
Well done. Did you hold like backspace or what?
Well, me making a mess over there.
I proned on the bed.
And
And
you fell through or something.
And I fell through something.
Yeah, it happens.
I see Trix above me, 42 meters above me.
Trix, are you in?
Cat's on my floor, I think.
Yeah. I'm
Is it med?
in the bed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on 27% health.
Oh my god. Dude, have you actually left your rooms?
No, not yet.
No, not yet, because
You're gonna cry.
I'm trying to fix my...
I'm pouring a glass of wine. Never mind.
If you're stuck, Nemo, just hold backspace. You're gonna commit suicide. So. I will cry.
Oh, I'm dead. I'm dead.
This is pretty.
Cat, are you like outside of your room?
Mm-hmm.
This is so beautiful, dude.
Be interested to see if... Yeah, I see. Yeah, you're above me.
This is so cool.
How you guys like the new map so far?
So far, I mean, we haven't actually explored a lot, to be honest, but it's hello. Yeah, I'm loving it personally.
Did they let us play the arcade machines yet, or play pool yet?
No,
not
yet.
Three feathers. So this is like 3.
What floor are you on?
Musketeers?
I'm on feathers floor.
No, floor 9. It literally says floor. You have feathers floor and underneath it. Oh yeah.
So it's feathers for the sleepy thing. Oh, I see. The nest apartments. Oh, I'm looking out the other window now.
This is so cool. Okay, let's see the elevator. They changed the interactables. Full elevator.
Okay, someone's in here with me, but I don't think it's you guys.
No, we can meet like in front of the apartment buildings. This is just beyond. Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm going to the lobby quick.
Oh my god, I love the new like menus for the
Very clever.
Go to the lobby. Oh my god, the lobby's cool.
I see Cat, I see Nemo.
Cat, look at these feathers, look.
Oh, look at the feathers. The feathers are very
Trixie,
cool.
where the heck you at, dude?
I'm coming. You guys are in the main lobby?
Yeah.
See, it's running good. There we go.
I can't actually see Trix.
Trixie, I'm gonna kick you out of the party and invite you.
Yeah, I can see him though.
I can't. I cannot
look
see
up.
Trix.
Nemo, look up.
Holy shit, look up. Yeah, okay, let me just fix Trix here. Party. Kick from. Invite to party. Send you an invite, Trixie.
I see it now.
Hello, sir. What would you like?
I would like a spot of tea.
Look at the fucking feathers.
I know.
What's first aid box?
Oh my god.
Alright, so we can all see each other?
Hey, Trix.
Where you at?
Yeah,
I see.
I can see.
We're all together.
Holy shit, look at the particle effects on the fucking feathers.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't care what you say about this game. This game is eye candy. Like, this game will get you hard. Pardon my French. Look at the flowers! Look at the flowers! Oh! Oh, that's fucking
If only we could pick some for Cat, eh?
Oh, God, I know, right?
There's a willow herb.
So what happened to our progression? I thought it was supposed to save, or is it this time?
It saved.
Oh, it did?
Stand in front of me.
Yeah, just press F1 to see your money.
What is
I
this?
did press F4. It showed my character.
F1.
What am I doing? Oh wow, you actually blow a kiss at someone. Wow.
Nah, I think mine reset.
Give me a sec, I lost money, and I lost
me too, and I lost all that armor that we got, so yeah, it definitely reset.
Wait. No, I still have my armor. You'll have to equip your armor, Trix.
Nope, it's all gone.
You should
no, wait, no, actually you're right.
Yeah, the armor is there.
When
Yeah,
it's
but I don't know what's
wrong.
happening with my money. Anyway, I don't give a fuck about money.
That's because you got too much. It
Look at me.
couldn't
Cat.
show it on the screen.
Look at me quickly.
Shut up. I'm not thinking.
Turn around.
Cat.
Turn around and look at me, Cat. Look. Watch. Oh.
Right. I see.
Stand in front of me. Look, they got the emote.
All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and switch this over here in just a bit. Let's just see how things are looking here right now for the most part.
Look, have you guys seen this?
No, most of you guys already know there's been a
Oh,
massive
so
Like
this
update.
is-
literally
this is-
zoomed in them.
Miss, this
This
is
is the Aspire Grand. This is where we are now, in the Aspire
let's see
Grand.
what we got here,
we're
team.
we're at the bit where we were gonna go to after.
So this is the accommodation section then.
Oh, this shit is fancy.
It must be the dorms area.
Well,
Yeah,
which
this is
which accommodations do you still need for Legend, for Star Legend?
Oh, see, I see what you did.
See, yeah, I like that. I think that's a very popular question, Syrphys. What
Yeah.
accommodations do you need?
See, I want the. How come we can't get these yet, or can we? The little COVID-19 masks here.
COVID-19.
I think these were.
This is so amazing.
Oh, nice little exhibit. That's cool.
we got to take.
When they're gonna put aliens on here? Because the trailer, a few years ago said visit
Yeah.
alien planets and alien races. I'm waiting.
That is the trailer for Squadron 42, which is a single player of Star Citizen.
Aww.
Because we've got alien spacecraft, haven't we?
We go right.
True.
Available.
Look at this fucker. Look at him.
Oh, what's he doing?
Look at those glasses, bro.
Right.
What the fuck, dude?
Yo, those sunglasses, those glasses come with built-in Bluetooth, built-in Wi-Fi 0.15, not 4 or 5. Okay, that's the future generation there.
Wow.
Those glasses are amazing, mate.
Oh, dude, I'm getting like the goosebumps.
I just tell you, yeah, that
Imagine.
this is the area, like, and then you go down here to the train.
Look, just look at this shit. Like, look at these lights. Like, holy shit.
So detailed.
Like, holy shit. Pardon, I'm really apologize for my
you know what?
language.
No, cat, yeah, like, imagine if a spacecraft went straight over. How epic
Yeah.
would that be?
You'd
That'd
probably
be
see it,
so
wouldn't you?
cool. Yeah, you
Man.
would. Yeah, you would.
Did we not try and fly through this last time? The
We
gap
did.
in the middle?
We so did.
I have a question for you guys.
Huh.
So, this game seems like it can run pretty toasty. I'm curious, what's your guys' temps for your CPU right now?
I don't really know. I don't have the.
You might want to look because
Mine runs really smoothly.
I'm at 55 degrees Celsius, and that's with liquid cooling. So I don't know if you guys have air fans. I don't even want to know what it is. Just
It's probably somewhere around 70 maybe.
Definitely
Which is
Okay.
the normal
smoothly, right?
temperature for a CPU under heavy load tricks. just
Yeah,
so
yeah.
You know.
I think it also depends on how many people, like for the lag wise, it depends how many people in one area as well. I've always realised when I go where everyone is, it's so laggy.
well,
Seems alright.
I think it's more so. I was telling Erdar earlier. It's just more about the streaming objects. Like it's server sided. So like, when you play like games such as like let's say Ark or Grand Theft Auto or any
78 degrees minus.
That's
78.
normal.
Is your stock cooler, or did you get like a Noctua or something, or?
No, I've just got.
I don't know what
Stop
you guys are
fans.
looking at.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
that's more than normal. It's actually fucking.
Well, as
good.
long as you're not surpassing the 80, you're good. I wouldn't worry about it. I mean, you'll just have to replace the paste once it burns up enough, but that's about it.
No, you need to understand something. No, you need to understand. First of all, stop scaring cats. Second of all, you need to understand something. For your CPU to reach 70, 80 degrees, it's more than normal, because this game is really resource hungry. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, that's why I
definitely.
said there's nothing wrong with it. It's just she'll need to reapply her pace pretty soon if she played this all the time for an extended period of time.
Yeah, no, don't play all the time.
Nah, we
Which
only
is not
hop on,
hard.
like,
What is it, like 4 screws, pull it out, put the new paste on, clean it up, then you're done.
Jeez, I'm completely new to what all you guys are talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, I did get a better thermal paste.
What'd you get? 'Cause I'm actually
Um,
looking to change, but I don't know what.
It's in the Arctic Extreme or something or other. I think I got. Can't remember
Oh,
now,
okay.
it's
Yeah, the
completely
Arctic series is pretty good. Like your character, Cat. Look at that. Look at that hairdo.
Thank you.
Oh shoot! What the NPC was in my way. Nah, I like this area though.
Come on.
Train is here.
Train's there.
Train is here. Come on, dudes.
What? What?
You have
Player?
15 seconds. The train is here. The train is here. Go, 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 go.
Oh! Oh! That was.
Spin. Oh!
Ooh, I like this ship. It's very bluey.
I know, right?
Which end? Which end do we have to look
What?
out of?
You said you found a
I do beg
clue?
your pardon.
You have to look out the. Oh,
Whoa!
That's
It's about time they put a. I'm watching. Which one's the best one? Ooh.
At the front.
This reminds me of the hyper tunnels we're supposed to promisely get in 2021, right?
Lol.
The
Yeah.
hyperloop? Yeah, that's what it's called. Hyperloops.
Oh my god, this is fucking.
Oh my god!
So what was that barrier there? I'm curious. Maybe that's for the ships.
Tricky.
Holy shit.
Oh my eyes! Oh, if you have like the epilepsy type of the lights, this is not a good idea.
Yeah, this is not a good thing, is it? Show your eyes, Neems.
No, I'm good.
Oh, you got epilepsy? Just don't hold a
Yeah,
fork.
right. Oh. The hell? What's this? That's purple.
Whoa.
Yeah, but I don't have the type that with
Like the
flashing
purple.
Not
lights.
triggered by.
Yeah.
Wait, is this where we're
Thank
going?
God.
Yeah.
Because if I did, that would be horrible because we wouldn't be able to play video games.
Welcome to the Commons New Babbage.
Oh, here we go. We got some normal civilization going on now. Look at this.
I know, right, Reese? Right? Look at
She's got a
you.
regular
She's got a-
t-shirt on. Oh my god. And jeans?
Hips on her breasts. The hell? She's got.
Do you gotta touch some pips?
Touch some pips. Yeah.
Well, I think she got her pips job done at Microtech.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Solid? What's going on, bro? Memes.
Oh my god, I'm never gonna...
You saw nothing.
That's.
You saw nothing.
Oh man. So what? What are you talking about? Right, Solid. What's going on, dude? How are you, man? How's everything going with you guys?
Leader. Come on,
She
Rodar,
got
you're
white
right.
jeans on. Look at her. And high heels? What? I never seen high heels in this game.
Yeah.
What? They wear high heels in 1300?
Look on her wrist. Look on her wrist.
She got
See this? Like,
she got a Pip boy, right? Pip girl boy.
Yeah, it looks like a Pip Boy, yeah.
Whoa, look at this. Wow.
She's looking
what
up at you like, "Are you done looking at me?"
the- I know.
Leave me alone.
Hmm.
Come on, you'll be like a tour guide on your left.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry for having to walk normally because I would lag too much if I would sprint. The textures wouldn't have enough time to actually load in. Look at this, dudes. I'm never gonna get tired of this shit here.
Yeah. Look, Trix. Look at this in the middle as well,
Ooh.
like a pond.
Wait, hologram fish?
Photorealism, bitch. Like. Okay, we do realize that we look like a bunch of fucking monkeys, right?
Are you saying that because we look like we're standing in the jungle? Really?
Lol. Of course, both are jump. Okay, now I'm jumping too. Why am I jumping?
Ah, what's up, Jeb? Did I hit recording? No, I didn't. Good. Yeah, holograms.
That's the future, but I'm telling you.
Oh, look at this. Instead of Hyperloop, Metro Loop. I get it.
Mhm.
Oh. Star Citizen telling us something? Oh, here's a train. Oh!
Did you see that shit?
You're like one of those kids. You know when you're a kid and you see a train go past, you get so excited.
Mm-hmm.
Like a little steam train. Yeah.
Press your nose to the window. Just
Yeah. It's like that. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, like the Titanic handprint to the window.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I really love about Star Citizen and what they did from a game design perspective? It is it does look futuristic, but it still looks realistic. I mean, not
Yeah,
like
it's realistic of what could happen in the
futuristic. It's like-
future.
yeah.
I got some really
Oh,
sad news,
boy.
guys.
You want to race me?
What?
I checked something and I gained a lot of weight.
Oh, you piggy. By the way, listen up. Hold F, press right click, and go ahead and take your helmet off. I think it's in actions. Player? No, actions. What the fuck it was? Item actions.
What the fuck is this dance?
I don't know, bro, but you look like a monkey. Where is Cat?
Running off.
I have no idea.
I'm here. I'm just over here.
Wow, okay.
Already getting
Cat,
food.
take your helmet off, Trix. And let's grab a bite, bro. Come on, everyone. Let's
Yeah,
grab
we'll
a
get a
bite.
snack.
Look at Cat. Just look at her, like casually walking with a bottle of.
Yeah. No, this is kind of cool. I like this new stuff here.
Yeah, the new interactable. Yeah, that's interesting, dude.
Navigating through it. Oh, what is all this at the bottom now? Oh, okay. I see the thirst meter coming soon.
Yeah, it is. It is. No, thirst and hunger are a thing.
They're all
Oh,
things.
it is. Oh.
Yeah, they're all
You can get
things.
food and everything.
I mean, if you look at Cat, you will actually see something in her hand.
Oh shoot! Hold on. Let me back out. Oh
Wow,
my God! You can hold items. Look at this, guys. Can I have it?
You probably can, yeah. But look at her.
Oh, you can hear it too. The slurping sound. Hold on. Do it again. I got to do it while I'm closer. Let me see if the sound gets more intense.
Okay, let's go a bit to the side. Let's go a bit to the side. Let's not block the whole thing. You're moving.
Oh wait. Oh.
Dude. Oh, what's he got? What's he got?
What does he? What does he?
Ooh.
What does this guy have?
I think I'm gonna have an apple.
Oh, the ice cream.
Vermilion apple.
Okay, so there's got to be. Okay, so they're just throwing the hunger and thirst now, but like, there's got to be. Like a
Trix,
like.
I got an ice cream. Num num
Yeah.
num num.
What did I grab an ice cream?
No.
Trix, take your helmet off. So again, hold F. Hold F. Right click. Go
Look,
to
I have a
actions. Item actions. Helmet unequip.
Mine's cooler than yours.
There you go. Now you can actually
There we
purchase
go.
stuff. I don't like what this guy has to sell though. I want some.
Is this price is too high?
Wow. Did you just ask if the prices are too high? Okay, who wants a sandwich? Who wants a sandwich?
Let's go and get a sandwich, guys.
Okay, you can have a bologna, a turkey, a bacon club, pork katsu, something,
Drink
godmother.
We're gonna eat them all, guys. Eat them all.
Like the space station.
No,
Yeah.
like the avocado
More junk food. More junk
yeah,
food on
yeah.
the space station.
Mm-hmm.
Although.
layered with a sweet and spicy corn salad and served on spelt bread.
What's a godmother sandwich? It's supposed to be like the
Godmother.
Godfather, but godmother.
Okay, a godmother has the following. Give me just a second. Let me read on the menu. A godmother. Layers of cured meats and salami are stacked high with tangy fausto cheese, tomatoes, lettuce, roasted peppers, and our famous house dressing on rice bread. Holy shit!
Why do they go into so much detail this?
What?
What other?
Anytime. What's going on? Hey. Oh gosh, am I lagging, guys?
Foods do you guys want to learn about?
Guys, get the rating. Or wait, test it. Get the rating modes in chat, guys. We got some raiders in the house and moderators. One of you guys, can we get a
Greens over there.
do exclamation mark raider with the username of the person that's raiding here right now, guys? Let's add it to the raider list.
Avocado.
Welcome, raiders. What's going on anytime? What's going on? Hope you had a good stream. Need a hard drive to get this game? Wait, what?
I went on Star System and just started.
What do you mean? What do you mean, solid?
It's literally what we've
What do you
done.
mean?
And a food fight, yeah.
Hold on.
Meanwhile, the other guys are sailing and probably firing at people.
No, see, Eridar's all disappeared there. He didn't drop his.
Yeah. No, I didn't actually have one in hand. I don't know.
You did have a sandwich in your hand.
No, I didn't. Or
Yes,
at least
you
not
did.
on my end. Not on my end, cat.
Okay, right. Well, I saw you eat it.
Yeah,
So.
me too. That's what
No,
I'm
I don't. Yeah, the avocado one.
Did you
I
finish?
saving that.
You
drink off.
finished it. You finally beat it. That's it. It's
It's
done.
not finished yet.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
see.
You ate all your complete sandwich. Whereas Nemo threw his on the floor, so he obviously didn't like it.
That's disgusting.
Oh, yeah.
Far too healthy.
Car just looks really shocked for it. A really shocked face.
What is it? Oh, I'm muted. What happened?
You know what I mean?
My who? What?
You just have a really shocked face on your character.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's go over to Garcia's Greens.
Oh my
okay,
gosh.
Let's go to something greens.
All right, anytime. I do got you added to the book of raiders. Thank you so much for that raid, guys.
Greens. Oh yeah. Now these guys have some really fancy fucking fruit and shit, dudes.
Well, you know what? That means if you beat 9, you got to do another one, right? Are you on to your next episode of Final Fantasy going on?
No, these are the.
But that was
What's
9?
the blue thing? I'm gonna
Wait,
try
did
the
I
blue
play
one.
9?
More info.
I'm gonna try the.
I played
weird
9.
Jumping limes.
Wait, hold on. How come that one looks different
How
then?
long it takes to like plant them and shit.
More info.
I appreciate it anytime. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
In fact, energizing and hydrating. Grown in temperate climates on the Maru ebony tree, golden madmelons are next to fall of the tree when ripe and collected. The fruit at that stage is extremely firm and astringent. They only become edible after being bleached.
I really do appreciate it, though, anytime. Thank you so much for that raid. I really do. First raids, second raid, third raid, they're all raids. They're all great. I hope you had a good session. Yeah, I do. I got my list. Don't worry, I got my list. I just want to make sure we have a pretty decent squad before we go jumping over there. You know what I'm saying?
Disturbing.
Because there was a few channels we raided, and some of them are not as appreciated, but some are. I mean, it just depends.
Like double the size.
You know.
Fuck this shit.
But I want to raid people that either raid us or like
What is
that I
this?
feel
This
like
is
we think we should raid. You know. Like I don't want to just go raid like a big streamer. There's no point in that. I'd rather raid like a smaller streamer than anything. And definitely people part of our communities. Oh, absolutely, bro.
Bruh.
Bruh. I was jogging with the NPCs or the CPN.
Fresh.
Oh, right, we got Garcia's Greens. Ooh. Hello, Garcia. Oh, this is where Kat's got her drink.
That's the one my drink came from.
I like green drinks. They're so healthy. Why? I think he's doing his arm workouts for the day. I think I think today was arm day.
Yeah.
You guys want some Oza?
Oza.
Ho 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 ho! That's it. I can help myself now.
You weirdo.
I'll pick up the pumpkin. No.
Do we steal tomatoes and go to prison? No. Okay. Watermelon.
We really don't want to go to prison. We really don't. I've heard
Look at these watermelons. They're so shiny. You want to lick them.
Mmm. Somebody's polished
They have a
those,
watermelon slice right here, dude, if you want to buy one.
Yeah, but that's no fun. It's already sliced. Look at these. They're shiny.
They look like gala apples there. Yeah,
Yeah, look, you can even see like the scratches on them from like when they sat down on the ground. Wow. A lot of coffee in this game.
You stuck. Okay, no.
No.
Wait, what is this? As your tutorial.
Breast tonics.
Jeez, this is like so cool.
Okay, so hunger and thirst. What's the best way of storing this stuff? Do we have a? Let me check. Do we have a limit capacity now, or?
Store it, yeah,
You
apparently.
can, but on my end it's kind of buggy, so I wouldn't advise. Just
I can't store it.
whenever you visit something, you can like just come here, or you can
Gotcha.
hold it in your hand, put it
Well-
on the ship.
It seems more so like there's negative effects than anything.
No, you can actually die. If you like,
Oh.
if your thirst and hunger get to 0, you will die. But yeah, they don't drop.
I didn't die from hunger and thirst. I died from fucking proning on a bed. So. it put me down to like 28% health.
Alright, let's go to the promenade. Come on, let's go to the promenade.
Well, let's go around where we went and stuff because I've interested in seeing it. So we'll just go through.
Where'd he go? Oh, he's there.
Oh, there? Oh shit, the wrong way. My bad.
This
Okay,
way.
we're not going to the promenade. We're going to the,
Okay. I love lockdown. I get to watch European streamers when I'm procrastinating during the day and tricks when I'm procrastinating at night, right? That's the way to do it. Isn't it so much fun? Wow. Oh, shit.
Wow, hello, sugar.
Wait, oh, Eridar, what are you doing? He found his store. Where is it? Oh. Wow, look at this guy. Creepy.
Boots.
You know who this reminds me of? It reminds me of like Velma from Scooby-Doo almost. Just without the glasses. Oh, no, you ruined it, NPC. What you doing?
Oh, he moved.
Are you actually hearing this?
Oh, here we go. Yeah, so she's the starter script. Like, she's just the NPC script where the NPCs begin their march. So technically she's... Oh, no. She's next in line.
Oh.
Oh, she's going off track.
She's gonna do some yoga.
Quiet.
Wow, we missed all that.
Because of these two dinguses are talking. Okay,
There she
ask
goes.
about the planet. Let's listen about the planet names.
You're doing real yoga too. Look at that.
Oh, well, the warm-up area.
Wow, look at that.
Oh.
How'd she do that? That's flexible. Wow.
I swear to God, I'm gonna punch both of you in the face. We're trying here, both myself and him are trying here to like learn more about microtech, and you're just.
I can't get any of the questions up anyway. It won't let me.
Okay, we're watching people do their exercises.
That's cool, bro. This is so cool, dude.
Yeah.
The game is not really expensive. Don't let people fool you, Kinky. So here's my take on it.
Let's ask about the city.
I like the game, and yeah, it was worth what I paid for it. Now, there's people that spends hundreds. Okay, you don't have to do that. The reason why the game costs more is if you want a bigger ship. That's all it is. You know.
Cool.
But yeah, you need a really good computer to run this game. CPU is a really big factor. GPU, and also make sure you're at least running a solid state drive. If not, NVMe will be great as well. Not saying you can't play it, but even for me, I'm only getting 40 FPS right now in this area. Like 40, that's all I'm getting.
Matrix incoming, dudes. Matrix fucking incoming. I'm telling you. Terminator. This is Terminator. Okay, ask. Okay, are you guys ready to hear a joke?
Go on.
Have you heard this one? What do you call a spaceship that's flying without a pilot? Dangerous.
Wow.
Okay. I want more jokes. Come on, give me more jokes.
Here's a funny joke. What do you call a mobile wrist computational unit that is completely made out of helium? Moby gas.
No, this is fucking good. She's awkward.
Right.
Okay, well, nice to meet you.
That is so bad.
Nice to meet you, though.
Well,
How do I drink my... Oh.
Left click.
time in the new language.
You should undo the top as well.
How many drinks do you get out of this?
Quite a few, three
few.
or four, five.
Hold
Yeah.
left click as well. It's
Yeah,
like
if you wanna like drink it all, just hold left click.
When you drink it, it shows a little
Once
counter,
Oh.
Oh, I'm
level
like,
indicator.
I'm gonna
Okay.
save it. Wow.
And then how do I put this away?
You can't.
actions?
You have to carry it.
Yeah, I
carry it
wouldn't
around.
advise. Yeah.
Not at the
Oh,
moment, it's
so okay, so technically you're right. So there's no way. Okay, wait. So that makes okay. So for now, at least you can drink and eat, but you can't really store it.
Yeah, you can
No.
store it. Okay, you can store it if you have space, like inventory space. I think you do have based on your armor. But when I tried to get it back out and drink, it was buggy on my end.
Gotcha. Well, you know what? Why not? I might, because I'm full on thirst anyways. Let me try this out. So, wait, what? Reload.
You hold F, look at the bottle, and interact with the bottle.
Yeah, look at the bottle, hold it, and then you
Oh.
can interact with it.
I think they really need to change the letter on some of this. I know they highlighted orange or whatever, but like it's still not enough. Like it's really, I guess if you're running vibrant colors, it's just hard to see. So place. Wait, what's it? Oh,
So,
Yeah, see, I haven't got stow as an option on mine.
me either.
yeah. I just got drink, place, and inspect, and drop.
okay, so you don't have enough inventory space probably, or something.
Or it's probably a bug.
Probably,
It's
I don't
probably
know.
a bug.
What is the bug? I don't know. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're
At least
fine.
we buy a rucksack or something from somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Center mass.
Oh, is that the ooh, the collar, dog collar? Wow. Are we getting dogs?
No, that's your little what's it thing around your wrist.
Oh, so we're wearing a collar. Gotcha.
Oh, look at all the birds.
Yeah.
Bro. I just fucking love this shit.
And there's detail of the noise as well. Like you can hear the.
Yeah, it's like. This is so slick. And the wood paneling. Just look at the
Honestly, though, I'm not gonna lie,
wood.
Kiki. I didn't get this game until what, February? I just got this
Can
game.
I lick the fucking wall?
Well, not
I'm
February.
lagging, tomorrow,
I think
but
it
don't
was-
care. I'm enjoying.
I don't know. It was like towards the end of last year, and
Oh, you can walk.
it's still alpha, but right now it's 3.9. This game's been out for a while, like a long while.
Okay.
It's recently been getting updated a lot, though. Yeah, I think right now you can start off for like, sometimes if you're lucky, about $40 some. You just buy yourself a starter ship, and then you're all set and good to go.
Which hairstyles they all have.
You know, the game is more CPU intensive, though, in my opinion. So make sure you have a good processor.
Sticky, my bad. Sticky
But if you're
resin
just
is
gaming,
secrets, allowing it
you should be
to
fine.
not only act as an exterminator for unwanted pests, but also survive in severely nitrogen depleted soil.
Oh, well, look, we're learning stuff about the future.
Bro, this is like next gen craziness.
There
What
is
about
some
you, Tom?
things in this game though that you do think in thousands of years they will eventually do.
Yeah.
Right.
Palm Rider Palm. The unique leaves of this palm variant shows a huge leap in bioengineering possibility thanks to their meticulously designed aerodynamic structure that allows the plant to endure hurricane-strength winds.
Wow.
Jesus Christ! I'm getting chills.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. That's good, bro. Mm-hmm.
Someone is eating like a pig again.
Mm-hmm.
Got a hole in the.
Oh,
leaf,
yeah.
Yeah,
maybe.
exactly right.
I wonder how plausible that is in biology, you know?
It's
Yeah.
engineered, so you know, never say never. Like it's not natural; it's human-made. Do you want to see some big boys? I'm lagging. I froze. There you go. Okay, these are some weapons that I'm really interested.
You know what, though? This area is not as laggy as that other place we went to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whatever we was at, bro, that was
Curse.
bad.
Hurston.
Yeah. Look at that.
Oh, it hurt.
Look at
All
the
right.
big boys, bro.
Oh, wait. Who got an upgraded ship? Like, who got like crazy missile turrets, all that good stuff?
None of us.
Yeah, sorry, Trex.
None of us.
We will
Sorry.
do
Alright.
eventually.
We all need to make some money.
We will.
Today we're just exploring. Because there's other things to
Mhm.
explore. We've still got another planet to explore.
Hey, there are other planets too, dude. Just so you know.
What?
And there are like 2 or 3 more. Okay, let me actually check.
Oh.
F2.
Yeah, so we got to discover this and then there's other
Yeah,
planets to
so
discover.
other planets that we
So
have.
as soon as
like-
everything's sort of discovered, we can start making money. Do that.
Man, just things that most games don't do though. Like you'll look in between like crevices and cracks of an item, and you can see between it. Like
Calliope, Clio, and
Yeah.
Euterpe. Yeah, so 3 more planets apart from this.
3 more.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking hell.
oh, look at a
That's
cat
cool though.
walking around with a drink.
I'm doing the same.
Just
I'm
casual.
saving this for the ship cat.
You're like
don't
those
need my snack.
people at the malls when they get something in a food court, but they walk in all the stores with their beverages.
Yeah, no eating or drinking. They need a sign.
Foodie mode time. You guys like that?
Oh look, there's
Leave
a
your drinks
plant here. Look,
outside.
Errol. Hold on.
What?
Plant here.
Mhm.
Look.
Oh, plant. Okay, move. Move over.
Oh no, what
So
happened?
here we have the Grand Flabellum. When worlds are first being settled, high winds can be a serious issue until enough plant life can take hold. The Grand Flabellum, with its wide leaf structure and deep root system, act as erosion breaks, helping to protect more delicate plants and structures. I'm just enjoying learning all these random.
The way they put that detail in though, just to explain that.
Yeah,
plot,
yeah,
They don't
it's
need
like-
to. Like, they don't need to, but they do.
Over here we have the Sailcassia. Related to the Colocasia, this plant features enormous broad leaves that are pliable and water resistant, making it an ideal plastic substitute on remote worlds. Additionally, its sprawling root structure is an edible starch. when
Right.
cooked.
I like that. That'd be good. People would love that.
Oh,
Mhm. Cat's here? Where's Cat? Where'd Cat go?
Cassia.
Oh! No, I'm just playing.
Okay,
I'm just
we
trolling you,
explored
Kat, you
the
good.
whole bar.
We destroy the whole part?
What is this?
That's
We
the
need to
story.
go-
Yeah, this is the
We need to
trading.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this is-
so we need to go left
yeah.
and then all the way around again.
Yeah, it's sort of like a crossroad sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You end up back at the same place.
If Trix would actually move his cheeks.
Yeah.
Well, I was reading some of the stuff that you read. That was pretty cool.
You're
That's-
full of shit you're eating. I know you. Shut the fuck up.
But I was looking at this guy's cool shades, man. Look. They got neons on them. They're LED. Or maybe whatever the future version of LED is.
Hmm.
Bite of fancy. Created to help alleviate symptoms caused by other airborne allergens, the pollen from the flight of fancy bright flowers is a natural
Histamine.
and is capable of Trix, stop pushing me, and it's capable of blocking histamine receptors. As a bonus, its large broad leaves provide ample shade, making them ideal to plant near habitat areas.
Oh, how large was it?
Oh. What the fuck? Alright, let's go to the promenade.
All right.
Where's
Mhm.
mine?
I don't know.
I'm here.
Yo, man, guys, look at that. Anytime, coming in like that, guys. Coming in like that. That was very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Speaking of that, guys, I got 2 retro events coming up this. Ooh, is it aquarium? Oh, I like the music. Oh, I like her
What about
outfit.
where we came from? Errol.
What happened?
Look at her
Back
cat.
where we came from.
The promenade is on the other side, Nemo.
Nima. Let's wait for him.
Yeah, I'm waiting here.
They're probably like miles behind us.
How come we can't create characters like this? Or can we?
There's many things that could happen in the future with this game, right? So,
Oh,
this guy.
a bit laggy there.
bit of lag, Errol. Jesus.
These are characters. These are players, aren't these two?
They seem like it. I mean, well, I don't know. You're not allowed guns on here. Well, you can't. Just can't. Well, let's see. Are you players? Huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Ones that keep running around are. So.
Yep,
I love
players.
This jogging track though. This jogging track's awesome.
The jogging track?
This thing here, look. This is behind you tracks. You know where
Oh,
we're
yeah.
jogging? Look. It's like a little exercise area where people keep jogging around.
Wow. I love how Captain Neems runs like You're really sprinting there.
Oh yeah.
Back to this. So if you wanna climb some wall tricks, you know.
So this
go
is
ahead.
is where we were when we got in the core view tricks, like around this way. We were around here.
Yeah, I can't climb. Oh, I'm drinking. Oh, shoot, wrong button. Hold on.
Oh, you should have saved it.
I've still got some. I've still got half a bottle left.
I've got a whole bottle left, Cap. I win.
Wow. It's perfect sentence.
Well, this game advertises littering. You know, as soon as my character finished, just threw it on the ground. Okay,
Oh
good.
my god. Eridol, look. Eridol, look. We didn't
Oh,
see
yeah,
this
okay,
last time. There's like lights.
Holy shit!
Look at this. Oh, it's like lights coming on and shit.
We didn't see these, did we?
City.
No,
no,
because
Oh,
no.
it's night time.
Yeah, no, it's night time.
Because it's night time. Oh, that's pretty.
And there's a huge storm outside.
Oh,
what
stormy
is it?
storm.
It's snowing
No.
outside. Oh my
Look
god.
at the city. Look at the
Okay.
city.
It was
Let's
snowing
go.
during the day,
Are you
wasn't
seeing
it?
this shit, bro?
Yeah,
Are you
we're
seeing
gonna-
these tricks?
Oh
Stand
my
next to each other.
god. So it's Christmas. Oh man, my lag. Oh god, the snow's too much.
Christmas every
We should all
day.
stand next to each other and get a picture. It's awesome.
We just gotta make sure we're synced.
Yeah, that's so funny when you're not in sync. I do like that.
It doesn't look like snow. It's glowing.
Oh, we're actually sitting. Let's fucking sit down.
Yeah, just sit down.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh dear gosh.
Sorry about that. Yeah, no, I can't. Only Nemo
Don't
can
drop
sit.
it. No, my drink.
Only Nemo. Okay, no, Nemo, you sit. Cat, come behind me.
You guys never saw that. My character literally just littered.
Oof.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay.
I'm
Wow,
gonna take a picture of all three.
that is so fucking cool. So detailed.
Yeah, this is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It is very detailed. You're right.
Stars.
Yeah, and again, I'm on low settings, and this is how it looks on low settings. So you guys know.
Lord, your best bet. Just put everything on low. Even the chromation, everything, bro. Turn it down, bro. That's what I
Everything
did.
is on
It
low.
helps.
Again, everything is on low.
And then you're in the video control panel. Bump your graphics on there, not the game.
Oh, we already did that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, moving on.
Did you also take out speed boost in your BIOS for your processor?
Bro, everything is as it should. I just like my PC is not able to but I'm okay. I don't mind it. I'm just enjoying seeing this shit.
Yeah, I mean, we're not really doing much. We're just sort of wandering around and exploring, which is really nice to do.
3600. I'm proud of you, Erdar. I think you're gonna love it, dude.
Yeah, I know. Hopefully.
Now, do they make that in an X or is it just 3600?
No, I have the X version.
X. There you go. Thank God, you made the right choice.
Cheers, mate.
Leave you some headroom for in case you want to do something with it.
Oh my god, this looks even better at night. Holy shit.
What? Oh,
Everybody
Neves,
look.
I wanna. Yeah, I'm coming.
Look,
Oh,
look how fucking epic that looks.
That's pretty.
Oh, coming.
What is this music? Shit, this music though.
The music is
Oh,
nice.
Lasers. Look at the lasers. See the
It's like a
laser
light
lights?
show.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, this is. Trix, you need to come here. Like,
I'm coming.
This is a
Oh
party.
my god, it's like a light show.
Dude, it's a fucking rave. Let's go.
What, a rave? Oh, that's my kind of party. Yeah. Is it?
Oh, we need to get down there. We need to get down there and do like
Yeah,
a...
we need to get down here, bro. So we need to get down.
Oh, it's a bar. It's a bar. I didn't even realize this is a bar. This is a fucking
Reach
bar.
farther
my
every day.
God.
Okay. Oh, this is Mass Effect. Where's the Asaris? I'm coming. I love the Asaris. They're hot. Where'd they go?
Oh, look, you can get in here. You can get in here, guys. Look.
Oh my fucking hell, dude, this is mental.
Oh, this music. Oh, yeah. Tricks. Look at this. Look. Yes.
Man, where's my chat box?
Hold F to get into emotes. F, player emotes.
Oh, okay, they moved. Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Shoot, this is like, I'm in a shock. I see something's moving up here.
Bro, this is so fucking cool. Where's the Oasis thing? Where are those ones to the light show?
I am at the cove. I'm at the fucking cove. Not the cove. I want the other one.
The music!
Yeah, the Oasis. I'm gonna be at the
music.
Oasis.
Mate, I feel like I'm in a nightclub.
Dudes, you need to come to the Oasis.
Oh.
Right.
Techno or something, right?
Who's going to come here, bro? Yeah, boy. Let's go.
Guys, I am burning. I think it's what's the temperature today, guys? Did the weather change?
Look at this shit. What the?
No, it's not what carries on. Damn
Oh my God, Cove.
Yeah. That's right.
The Oasis, cat. Just come into the Oasis.
Yeah.
Just come to us, dude. I'm begging you. You're missing on a fucking huge ass party here.
No, I'm at the bloody.
Come here, cat. This is better.
The Cove did look amazing too, though. It's like, let's just break this. Yeah.
Okay, this feels so like fucking 90s, like not like it's not 90s. It's very like fucking
80s.
some sex fucking club. I swear to God.
It does. It feels like there should be a stripper here, shouldn't there?
Yeah, Trix, you come here and be our stripper, please.
Can't be a stripper for us.
Different over the other side. Excuse me.
No, not just the Trix. I said Trix, not you.
No, the Cove music's better.
The Cove music is better. Okay, I'm coming.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. Definitely.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Orchestral manoeuvres, indeed. Orchestral manoeuvres in the dark, Enola Gray. Enola Gay. That's what it sounds like. I kid you not.
No. Trix, when you get your ass back from the AFK, you have to come here, dude.
Yeah. Don't worry, guys. I'll be the stripper for you.
Oh,
In the middle.
Look at him. Look at him. Look at the mic. Look at the mic.
Yeah. I just need to get these clothes off.
Oh, where's Cat? Oh, there she is.
I can't dance because I lose my drink.
So, put the drink on the table here, you Wally.
Where?
Here, put your drink on the table. You buy with place.
Sorry about that. I had a.
No, it's okay. You need to come here.
You need to
dude.
get to these places that we're at.
Yeah, just come where we are, dude.
It's so loud, actually.
What?
Oh, I'm drinking again.
Cat drinking? Ooh, see, Eridar, you're a bad influence.
I know, right?
Trick,
would-
look.
Dude, you're gonna have so much fun with this shit. Just come here and just.
Yeah. In the clubs.
Let's go, boys and girls. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. dude.
Yeah.
Okay, Nemo has it. Nemo's got it. Nemo's got it. Oh my God, this is so.
The music is so fucking epic.
I don't even know what that is. Yeah, it's definitely got that it's got like that Covey type music.
You need to see this tricks. Look
Oh,
at
come across. Yeah, come across the other one.
Chant, I see the other. You need to see this. Oh my God, just look at this whole fucking days.
Oh, look up. I didn't even look up.
I know, right?
Errol, stand now. I'm gonna get a picture of you.
Okay.
Just a print screen. That's not print screen. There we go.
Oh my
At the
god.
top
dude.
there. But you can't
I
get
don't-
up
I
the top
don't-
there.
I don't know. Oh, this, you're gonna like
There
this.
you go.
dude.
Look. Put it in the chat. A bit later.
Like Las Vegas.
It is. It's like, yeah, that's it. It's like Las Vegas.
It's very Las Vegas. Yeah, this is also so really cool. Oh, and you can sit down at the.
Oh yeah.
Oh, this is cool. This is really cool.
Oh yeah. Errol, we just need a stripper pole. That's all. Can I emote on here?
Nemo, please get off the table, mate.
I think I can emote. Yes. I can dance.
Oh no, please, no, he's trying.
Did you
Can't.
dance on the table?
Yeah, he's touching the table. Fuck.
How much are you gonna play me?
These
Pay me.
little things bounce on the floor. They're little.
What?
Drop from the ceiling. They bounce on the floor and then they disappear.
Oh.
Little particles.
This is
I
beyond.
don't know. The way Neves was dancing on the table with this song kind of went together pretty good.
I know, right? Like,
You know it. It's all you need is. But
Yeah, Neves, you got some clients over there. You're leaving them unoccupied. Wait, is this shirt clipping? No, wait, is that the style?
oh,
Wow,
dude,
look at his shirt!
tricks. Look, I can't give it.
Oh, we need
What is
electricity.
that?
Yes, we need
What
to go to
is
the clothes
that?
shop.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the clothes shop. She's been
Oh,
to the clothes shop, hasn't she? It's where the tops
I
come
like
from.
that shirt. That's cool. Oh, Names, you're so bad. What?
So badass.
I'm sorry, bro. I'm just geeking. This is like I'm going up. I'm gonna go party.
Wait,
with
what?
them, you know,
What
just
have you
bitches.
found?
I found everything.
Oh, whammers.
Oh, look, her shirt. Oh, her shirt changes. That's cool.
No, Errol, stand and face me. Stand and face me underneath the burger. Stand underneath the burger and face me.
Oh,
Whammers. God.
dude, I'm crying.
The future right there, guys. That's the future right there.
Burger. Oh, we can actually buy a burger as well. Oh, chicken wham
Hamburger deluxe.
€10. Yeah.
I'm getting a hamburger.
I'm going to the.
That's what I might actually.
Right. You know what? This would be the time to wake up in life, man. This is.
I'm really fucking crying. Holy shit, dude. Oh my god, look at how he looks. I'm drooling. I'm fucking drooling.
Craven, so you're Craven. Wait, who's crawling? That's you crawling?
Where to make them.
Dude, like
Wait.
honestly, look at the burgers. Oh my god, they look so delicious.
I'm getting errors when I'm trying to buy stuff.
Oh my, oh my.
Bro, I
Your
can't buy a burger. No.
Oh, he's talking. Okay. Ooh, we got some wham. Ooh, can you grab a burger?
Yeah, I can't
Oh, you
actually buy
can.
a burger for some reason.
Got chicken, veggie. What's a deluxe?
Get the deluxe, bro. You're gonna love that bitch.
Take your
Yeah,
wham
but-
burger up a notch and make it a deluxe with
It'd be
twice
nice
the
if I
meat
could actually
and double
grab
the
burger.
cheese.
It's a bit error coding every time. I think it's a little bit buggy buying the stuff at the moment.
Yeah, true. Wait, wait.
It won't do an animation of me grabbing it.
Just give it time. Give it
Oh,
time.
I've got one.
There you go. Just buy one. Trix, are you fucking picking? Why are you eating from the ground?
But it's so much cheaper that way.
That's what it is, isn't it? I said there's one over here to roll towards the door, look.
Oh.
There we go. Oh, got it.
There you go,
Oh, we got
Cat.
it. Have we got it? Yeah.
Yeah,
Free
mine
burgers.
won't get it at all.
I
That's all right.
can't eat it though.
Yeah, we really need to take tricks to Apparelli. What time is it? Holy shit.
It kind of looks like well, we have what they call rallies over here.
We gone.
I'm at Apparelli's.
Oh, Apparelli. Yeah, we must go to Apparelli.
I think I robbed Cat's drink.
Oh, I finished it. I think.
Did you?
Yeah, I think it's still gone.
No.
You got some left.
Take it. Oh. We should, you know, we should just YOLO it.
What you want to think about the fucking...
We should actually just YOLO it and get one.
With the fucking... Like the LCD?
Now it's gone.
The hologram?
Bro, surely we should just YOLO it and get one.
No, bro, no, not yet at least. Holy, look at this shit, dude. This is the deal, bro.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get some money and come back here.
Oh, look at the shoes, dude. Yeah, the moment when they fucking design oh, okay, no,
Fantastic job.
dude, they fucking went bonkers with this shit.
What is that guy doing? Why is he crouching at his dick? What the fuck?
Get it, Silver.
You seeing that out? Am I like the only one?
Yeah, no, I've seen that.
Yeah.
Hey, what the hell? Look, his hands are missing. Wow.
Whoa! Wait, what?
Whoa. I guess he can't give the mannequin a hand.
He's gonna have a really sad life.
Yeah. Well, you know what though? I really gotta hand it to him.
Hey.
Oh, is he? Although, is he putting clothes on? Is he changing his outfit? Is he just bought the
Yeah, he's
outfit?
doing-
Yeah.
oh, yeah,
Is he
yeah,
changing
yeah.
his outfit.
Whoa, that's
Nice.
Okay,
Means he can go outside. That means
all of
he
us
can
are
go
just staring at this guy like a fucking.
Yeah, this guy's like, oh my god.
It does mean you can go outside though.
Come on, man, let's get out of here. These guys are creeps.
Yeah.
Look at that here. This is like, you gotta give them credit. Look in the ground. You see lights, reflections, and stuff. It's really nice.
Wait, what happened, Project Zero? What's going on with the UFO? What? I think I saw something about it. I'm not 100% sure though.
Wasting our money
But
on
you're
this.
right.
we don't
We
have
will
the-
eventually.
But Kinky, when you get this game, let me know. You're more than welcome to join
We
us.
really want to save up for a big ship. That's what we want.
No.
But I would make sure it's something you want first. You know, and then just get the starter package, try it out, see if you like it. You know, like any game, you pay, you know, a certain amount for.
I think we really.
Either keep playing or you just give up.
places around there, don't we?
Yeah, we did explore quite.
Should we head back to the spaceport or
Yeah, we can definitely head back to the
see if we can explore another planet quickly?
You know where I think I'm gonna be heading out to? I think I'm gonna be heading to bed.
Oh shit! What time is it? Sorry, I didn't know what the time was.
Oh, midnight.
It's midnight.
Midnight, man. I remember going to bed at midnight.
Oh, and that was good fun though. That was great fun. Exploring. We'll have to do some more.
This is next time when I get in. I'm still doing quests.
Yeah, we'll
Let me-
definitely.
I want to see what missions. Let me check some new baggage.
Have you guys ever found the special NPCs?
What?
There's like special NPCs throughout the planets, I guess, and you could do special missions, I guess.
Yeah, there are. There's two.
Yeah, there are,
Found
there
the
are.
one
But I
on
never
Nevsky,
find 'em.
didn't we? Yeah, there's one on Nevsky and Arc Core. Did we find the one on Arc Core? I think. One time.
They don't. Oh, this is like.
Oh yeah.
Some really interesting missions and so on and so forth. Really interesting, yeah.
Hello. 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 Hello.
Hello?
Oh my God.
Hello? Hello?
Oh my god. Oh. What is he
Ow.
doing? and drop. X. There you go.
Where?
We're
Oh,
drunk.
okay.
We're drunk. This is how you get home after two
Yeah.
few
Oh my god, what are we
two
doing?
few Grace's greens.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Well, that's
dude.
snakes.
Yeah.
Case sprint. Oh no, got up. Oh, I see.
I'll be careful getting down. So I died on my bed. Like, what the fuck are you doing, Trix?
Yeah, Trix, what the fuck you doing?
Oh no, but this is trippy. Ah, my eyes.
You see Michael Jackson moonwalking.
This is so. Let's leave this place. Let's see where we can. What other? Let's see.
I don't think there is any other place to go. But...
Okay, so exit.
23:15 right now?
Right.
Oh yeah, it's kind of early.
Oh, where we go?
the fuck did you go?
I've been up since like 6 in the morning. It's been a long day for me. Bum, 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 bum. Where they going? Where they going? Come here.
I want to go outside.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
we,
I'm
should,
gonna
we
die.
should. We should go. No, we can go in a ship. You think us?
Oh,
Yeah, let's fucking go outside. Are you guys up for it?
yeah, we
Yeah.
might.
Yeah, let's go.
Oh, when I was going to
Go outside or we go side out?
I'm at the elevators. I'm waiting for you guys.
We gotta wait for.
For Trix, actually.
Well, what do you mean? Service elevator? Did you say?
Yeah, we're going to surface. Fuck it. Let's see what we have up there.
Oh, put your helmets on. Fuck me.
Oh yeah, dude, put your helmets on.
Fucking hell. Yeah, please don't forget to be home around.
Okay.
Oh, helmets. Oh, shoot.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise we're gonna die, right?
Well, we're going to die anyway.
Come on, everyone.
Although
Yeah.
we can survive in space in
everyone in?
these suits.
Yeah.
Can't we? Yeah, we're all in.
Okay, we're gonna go to the planetary surface.
Why have we died? It'd be so fun though.
We will definitely die.
Ooh, look at the, look at the, I see the sky. Wait a minute, why am I seeing outside the map?
So,
Oh, I think, wait, what the?
There's a hole in the wall. Come out the elevator.
please
Oh.
don't glitch yourself. Like, for real,
No,
don't-
I tried not, I didn't. How can I wasn't even jumping. There we go.
Just come out.
No, I guess my camera went out the map or something. Like I saw out there the snow and everything. No decontamination? No? Okay. fine.
Garage. Ooh, I actually have a small vehicle if you guys want.
Yeah,
But
but
it's only two-seater, so no.
Yeah.
It's only
It's
two-seater.
Can you
Sorry.
use the lockers? No?
No, not yet.
Hey, what the heck? Shit. Okay, wait for Trix. Shit, Trix.
Oh shit! Okay, there we go.
Oh,
we go.
fuck.
Oh, you can go outside.
Oh my
Yeah, about.
god.
Yeah, we're gonna die.
17
Oh my God.
minutes. We can survive 17 minutes.
I can survive for 32 minutes. Holy shit, dude, this is
Cat, where are you
amazing.
going? Cat, where the fuck is Cat going?
I don't know, but I'm so following.
I'm gonna play the snow.
I am so following, Cat. I can survive for 32 minutes. Oh my god, dude, this is.
That's not a door
I thought I put the
inside.
torch on.
T.
Oh my god, dude, this is amazing.
Where can we head to?
I don't know, but I'm heading to the.
You know what? It happens though. It's the way it is, guys. The way it is. Absolutely.
Is it cliff?
Right? Gotta wait for Slowpoke. Yep, I'm coming.
Can you
coming.
get into that centre bit? Like all the.
I think we can, yeah, dude. This is so like. It's mind-boggling. I'm not gonna lie. What they did with the game, well done, dude.
Jesus.
Wait. Stop.
What happened, kid?
Look at your armor's all covered in frost.
Really?
Oh shit! So
Yours is too.
Yeah.
That was
He lost
amazing.
Trix. Where the fuck is he? Trix, what the? Oh, there he
Trix.
is. Oh, this is so nicely done,
Be the
dude.
snowman.
I wanna go in the town. Oh,
I don't think you
I
can
don't
actually
think
get
you
in
can-
there.
Oh,
Is that a way in, or is that a
wanna
way
make a
in?
bet? No. But I'm still going in. Fuck this shit. 30 minutes. We literally have 30 minutes, dudes.
15.
15.
Okay. I have 30 minutes. I don't care about you guys, I guess.
I mean, even if we die, it don't really matter, to be honest. We're coming off anyway, so.
That's okay.
Oh
Thus,
my god, this is
Oh, wind.
Where can we go?
oh my god.
Oh my god!
It's the wind.
Oh my god, I'm scared. And I gotta lie, dude, I'm
This is terrifying.
This is absolutely
Oh, this
terrifying.
is bloody epic.
This is terrifying.
Terrifying.
What the fuck are Oh my god. This
almost like
is
the stuff we see in the
terrifying.
movies.
I'm scared now. So fucking.
It's like a monster's gonna come out and grab us.
Yeah, dude, I'm shivering. I'm shivering in real life. This,
Alright. Where can we go?
This is more like it.
oh my god. I don't know where you guys are going. I'm just
I don't know where we can go.
I can't see shit.
It's minus 83.
Holy shit.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Kat, I think me and you are gonna die very quickly compared to them.
Wait, what? Is minus 83?
Minus
Yeah, minus
81.
Please, holy Christ.
It's a good thing I got the Arctics too, because I think I'm okay. I still got 38 minutes to live.
I have 33 minutes to live.
Where's the train thing? Is it down here? I want to
I
get
have
the
no
train
idea.
tunnel.
We'll get run over by the train.
We definitely. Oh my.
Where
voice
is the xenomorph?
like, really,
Right.
really fucked up. I can't
Absolutely.
see. Guys, I'm scared. Holy shit.
Where the fuck
So
are
you press, so we do this view, guys, and it eliminates all that effects.
Oh my god.
Whoa!
I don't want to die. I don't want to die. I'm scared.
There doesn't seem to be a way in anywhere.
Oh my god.
There's a green light over there now.
Yeah, but that was a dead end last time, wasn't
But we're underneath. This goes underneath something, so it's a bit more sheltered. Yeah, it's a little bit warmer under here.
Oh my god. This is dude. This is fucking stupid. I love this shit.
13 minutes.
I can't see shit. I literally can't see shit. My
You
visor
see
is
it's-
on.
Yeah, you can see better with your light off. No, it's still minus 82.
Dude, I can't see shit.
Turn your torch off.
Okay. Oh my god.
it? Yeah, it's a dead end, Kat.
Where are we going, dude? Where the fuck are we going?
Nowhere, because you can't go anywhere else except from where we were.
Okay, let's go the other way then.
Go back, I
There we
suppose.
go. I'm looking for the train things, you know, because you see if we can get to the train.
I lost Kat. Where the fuck?
Oh, I'm behind you. I'm running the other way
We
now.
run back.
That's
Where did we
sunrise
come
over
from?
there.
I don't know, but I'm scared. Tracy, bro, hug me.
Ah, what's going on? What is
Oh.
going on?
There's trees. There's trees up there. Let's go by the trees.
Yes,
Let's go, dude.
There's trees.
go to the trees, yeah.
We can hide in the trees. 12 minutes, minus 81.
Oh, poor cat. Nemo, they're gonna die of fucking...
Yeah, we don't, again, as I said, it don't really matter, like, does it?
Oh my god, dude. This is scary.
Oh, you guys got the default armor, right?
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
Oh, this is lovely.
Oh my god, this is so well done. So...
But there's trees growing outside at minus 82. What?
Apparently, yeah, there are, I know.
Maybe it's warm during the day.
Oh, hear the noise. What the
Yeah, we played a little bit of it, me and Jim.
What the fuck is that? I heard that shit.
The train.
Yeah, I don't know. Where are we going, cat?
It's
You're
in the
taking us to
train.
our doom.
I'm going in the trees.
I can't see shit. Like, honestly, I can't...
Oh,
Dude,
wow.
I'm afraid.
No.
Dude, I can't see. Help, someone please.
There's a little building, but I think
Dude, I'm not joking. I really can't. I want to see your name tags. That's it. That's all I'm seeing.
Ah, epic.
Wait.
Polar explosion. 10 minutes.
We can
Alright, so
probably
the
make
big-
it back.
Wait for
The
us,
big-
dudes. Wait for us. Like literally, you're leaving us like fucking 200 meters behind.
Well, we thought you were right behind us.
Right, this is some sort of built-up thing here.
Okay.
Get up.
I'm at
Can't get
Trix with us.
I can't get up. Can you get up?
Trix
No.
is so far away. Trix is so far away.
Oh my
I
god.
know. I got stuck.
I'm stuck. I can't get up this.
Hey, I'm a,
Okay.
got this.
No, I can't actually run up it.
Oh, I see where it all means. I'm going back through the wind now. I can't see
Yeah.
shit.
So I just saw that Twitch posted
We started
something
talking about
saying
it.
they're having issues with people going live, guys. So I don't. I hope we stay live.
Mind you,
I don't know.
we should get back. We can.
I'm going this way now.
This is so cool.
Suppose back.
Lights! There are like lots of lights and domes. over
yeah.
there, dudes.
Twitch is having issues right now, guys.
On the right, Cat.
Yeah, this is the way we came out, I think.
If it comes down to it, well, no, I guess I can't go live on Discord. I'll say I can go live on Discord too.
Straight ahead. I think
Let's
somebody
go.
else has come outside.
So we're not the only
Can
idiots.
people on mobile even do
No,
it?
doesn't
No, I
work.
think you got to be on a browser, right?
I think
Idiots. Just exploring.
it's down here.
Come on, Trix, move it, dude, move it.
Oh, I am, but you guys keep moving, so it looks like my movement does nothing.
Oh, I have 8 minutes.
Right. Should be.
This.
No.
Wow, this is cool.
It's
This
good
is
now?
so
It looks
cool.
like it's good. I'm looking at it now, guys.
Something's moving.
The
up
bar,
there,
we're in the
yeah.
green, so we're good.
That car.
I think that's the train. That's the train line. That's the fucking train line.
Hey, it's coming, it's
Ah,
coming!
the train line.
What
Ah,
the
so-
fuck are you? Who there?
So maybe we came out up there.
I don't know.
I'm going up there anyway. Because I know we came down a slope onto a flat part of ground, and this is the flat part of ground, I think.
Oh, my health bar's just appeared.
I still have 24 minutes.
It is shift to run, right?
Yeah.
Oh, the wind is getting worse.
Yeah. The storm is actually getting worse.
Trix,
Yeah,
what
if
the
you-
fuck are you doing there, dude?
Oh, I was just seeing what's up here. Yeah, if you guys keep going
Oh
straight
my
down
God.
that way, you'll see the entrance.
He's all the way up. Oh my god, I'm getting lost.
Well, we close.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just up here.
Kind of, yeah. Straight up, it followed the light post.
This is so cool, but
Mate,
kind
it
of
looks
scary.
so nice. It looks so nice indoors and that. And when you come out here, it's fucking death.
It's fucking exactly.
Ooh.
Ooh, I'm hearing something.
The fuck is that?
I don't know, but God help us.
Is it, or is it just over there?
I do not think that's right. Where the fuck's Trix at?
Microtech.
Trix got fucking lost.
Maybe around to the right.
I don't think we're gonna survive, Cat.
Yeah, we will.
Oh my god, we're gonna get someone killed.
Yeah, right.
She's gone.
5 minutes.
I don't even know. Okay, that. Oh my god, that's the sky bridge.
Which one?
That's where we were looking out earlier.
Yeah.
Holy shit, you're right, dude.
We're underneath it.
Oh my.
Yeah, Cat, I think we've gone the wrong way.
It must be around here somewhere. Why have we not got a little map on our Moby glass things?
Okay, yeah, we are screwed.
Yeah, we are really fucked.
Yeah, we're fucked. Like that, we can't get in unless we find the entrance.
Yeah, I
I
don't
mean,
know.
realistically, yeah, you're right, but you know, fictionally, we're fine, perfectly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, in real life, yeah, we're fine.
See, look, this is. No, this is where. No, carry on back this way.
Well, those lights
No,
are, I
I'm
reckon.
not seeing you anymore. I
I
found
think
it. I found it. I found it. It's on me.
What? What? It was there somewhere.
Copy that.
Found it?
Uh,
Where?
On me.
uh,
On me.
I knew we went down the slope.
First stage was 3 main monsters, 4 core monsters. Woo! Hey, that's the way to do
Oh
it,
my
guys.
God.
The way to do it.
Oh, fucking epic.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
White. It's fucking white. Oh my god. To get you.
I'm trying.
Oh, she's gonna die.
I'm
It's in here,
trying.
it's in here, cat. But we gotta wait for tricks.
I'm gonna get a car and get him out. I'm gonna get a car and get Tricks out here. Operation Save Tricks. Oh my god. Oh my god. Look at the screen. Look at us actually. Why Tricks?
Right.
Oh. Listen to your character.
But the whole time I was
You're shivering.
recording the stream at the same time.
Really?
Yeah. That's what they're doing. Fucking hell. Yeah. Operation Save Tricks. Where's the...
Oh, it's at the
Nice.
Oh. Oh.
guys, we are stuck out here in the
I'm
storm.
coming for you.
Oh
Garage
gosh.
1. Where the fuck is garage
4 in
1?
stage 1 and then 4 in stage 2.
Oh, here.
Where?
Aaron, back. Open this door.
Yeah, I can't. Oh, yeah, you're right. Holy shit. Okay, let's get Tricks. Let's get Tricks.
Can we go? It's just a 2-person buggy, isn't it? I need to come out.
Jump in the back or
It'll be-
something like.
No, it'll be depressurized or something. No, it'll glitch.
Let's go. We'll wait here. Thunderbirds, I'll go.
Why is it not all nice, warm, cozy colours indoors?
That's why like this. Hello, if you can help me. I need to follow it, I think.
Oh, I think my armor's damaged. Heart rate, yeah. Pressure composition.
Come on, open up. I need to save Tricks. We need to save Tricks. Operation Save Tricks. Where is Tricks? Where the fuck you at, dude? Oh my god, yeah, I see you.
Oh, I can see him.
Oh my god, where is he? Tricks, where the heck you at, dude? Are you in? Did you get in?
No, I did not get in. I'm right around the corner.
Where?
I'm Kevin.
I see you. Let's go for a ride, dude. Get in.
Or do you want to go for a ride? Jesus, get a room, guys. Please.
The other side, dude. The other side.
You're gonna come through this garage, aren't you?
No.
Well, I like the brake lights. It's got the Dodge Charger brake lights though.
Alright. Can you turn off your light, please?
Oh shoot, my bad. Wait, what the?
Press T.
Oh god!
What?
Oh god!
Wait, what the? Holy shoot! What are you doing to me? Ah! Wait, what the? Airdar's in the air.
I can make
He's fine. You're welcome, bro. There you go. Enjoy it.
I think I can fix it. I think you
No, this is what happened last time we went out. Bloody Levski.
Oh my god, he went through the... I don't know what he did.
I pressed T and then you look like you're Back to the Future. I like it.
Oh. I'm going out. Dun, 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 dun.
Wait. What's on? Are the servers still up? I might download the very free version on
No,
PC.
actually,
Xbox is pretty
you
dead.
need to go to bed. Fuck off. Stop it.
Saving mode.
Oh, you're talking about the
I don't fuck Tricks. He bugged himself.
what? Yeah, I know you're talking about
I'll come back to you. But
the Evolve.
Oh, I am going for it, dude. I don't know where I'm going, but I'm definitely going.
Go for it, bro. Follow the train.
I don't know where I'm going, but I'm
You need
gonna
to
go.
try. You need to try.
A Harry
getting
Potter
those
car. I like
barriers,
that.
blue barriers in the train tunnel.
Oh, he blew up. I heard that.
Yeah.
You saw
Okay.
that shit, dude? What the?
That was a
Did you
kaboom.
die?
Is it
Yeah, I
broke?
did.
Oh, 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 oh.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Indeed. Okay, that's a sign that I need to go to bed.
yeah, that's a sign. Yeah.
No, definitely. We will have so many things to do, dudes.
Hey, cat. Ah,
You're bloody in front of me. Like, I can't move.
the cat's stuck.
Oh, the phone on my end. Dude, thank you so much. I really hope you guys had fun. You guys can still play, of course, but I am gonna call it. I need to wake up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Planetary surface exit. Wow.
This was
There we go.
amazing. I love this. It's the thing is this new Babbage. It's like that.
Yeah, and we got to like investigate the other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, new Babbage is like.
Hey, what's going on? How are you?
Love it.
Hope you're enjoying the quarantine life right now.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, no problem, man. Get some rest. Go to your sarcophagus and cross your arms. Like, I don't know. When I sleep, I like to feel like a King Tut.
Yeah, I mean, if I didn't have to like wake up for work in the morning, yeah, fucking YOLO it. What's at the house. But yeah, with that being said, mate, thank you so much. I'll see you next time, guys. Have a lovely one.
You too.
Yeah, sleep
See you
well.
guys.
Sleep
Yes,
well.
thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Night, mate. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go as well.
Good night.
See ya.
Sleep
If I log
well.
out, am I gonna start here or no?
Yeah, you will in the dorms, yeah.
You'll
Oh,
wake
wait.
up in the bedrooms,
Okay,
which
good.
are very cool as well. See you soon.
See you guys.
Well, let's get out of all this, guys, because my character is freezing. Ooh-wee. Oh gosh. All right, guys. All right. Here. Oh, wait, the Pentagon. Oh, hold on, Project Zero. Now I got it. This game is called Star Citizen. We're playing Star Citizen right now, guys. This is how do I explain this? I mean, obviously it's a space game, right? We're in space. We're playing as a character that you can create, which is pretty cool. You do explore the open world. I don't know how to get out of here though. Wait, I don't even know where we were going. If these elevators are even working. Oh, there we go. We're gonna take that elevator, guys. The comms planetary surface exit. I guess we'll do that one, right? That's the one we need to go to right now. I know, right? What's going on, Lewis? Lewis, how are you, bro? What are you grabbing? Okay. So, oh my God, did I seriously not? Am I going the wrong way? Okay, now we're moving. Okay, now we're moving. Fact of the matter is that if we don't rise out of the bed like Dracula, you didn't sleep good, right? True. True, right? That's a very, very good point of putting it, guys. Very nice looking game. Now, I do need to beat the other game we were on, but it's not working, guys. It's really glitched, and I gotta figure out why it's doing that. I wonder if there's a way to, we could do like a chapter select or something like that. That'd be kind of good. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and pause this for a second. I'm gonna let you guys look at these people. work out while I get set up here real quick, guys, okay? Give me just a moment. Hold on. All right, let's get ourselves set up here, guys. Oh, let's take a look here. All right, we're gonna close out of this game real quick, and there's one thing I need to test real quick, and I want to make sure that everything actually works the way that it's supposed to. And man, let me tell you, Star Citizen puts a big toll on your computer, guys. Holy macro. You needed one more? Oh no! What happened? Right? Right? Hold on, guys, hold on. Alright, give me 1 second.